Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another manga chapter review. Welcome once again, guys. It's going to be on a chapter that just released this weekend on Shonen Jump. I was going to say Crunchyroll, but no, Shonen Jump. It is only one chapter out, so time of recording, this is the most current chapter. Shadow Eliminators. There's been two other mangas that released with this one. As other series are finishing, Shonen Jump is adding more. I'm going to be honest, this is the better one from the other ones. The other ones are sport related. I've read most of the first chapters and they didn't hook me. This one was pretty decent. I am going to review at least the first three chapters and then decide if this will stick or if I have to look for another series. So we do follow the story of Kuromori, who is this guy, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But before anything, if you have not done so by now, make sure you comment, like, and share, and subscribe to my channel. Especially if you're watching up to this point, you've stayed because there's a reason why. So make sure you go and actually subscribe to the channel. I do have quite a bit of chapter reviews and other series also by volume. So if you're looking to get more reviews or just see my collection, you can also see my manga hauls here on my channel. There's also a manga giveaway happening right now. If you're watching this before December 20th, then you still have a chance to get that giveaway. So go be part of it and get some free manga in your hands. Okay, chapter 1 of Shadow Eliminators. We have two main characters, Kuromori and Azakase, and Azakase is the middle guy here. Other two girls, not so important, but I guess important to the chapter. We kind of have the beginning of what seems to be like a high school series, but it goes beyond that. Kuromori is like seconds late to school. Azakase, he's in the student council, and he closes the door on him. He's like, "You're late. You're gonna have to do a report." Blah blah blah. Kuromori ends up jumping the gate, getting wet because he gets wet through a sprinkler, but nonetheless not late. Then they have a basically debate of why he's late and why he's dressed the way he is. Again, he had to move into his gym clothes. They also judge him for his earrings and tattoo, and this is where we start getting a little hints that Kuromori is a little bit more than what he says. And he says that the earrings and tattoo are essentially things that go with his body and that he cannot remove. Now, Azakase, he is basically a rule person. You have to follow these rules, and at some point he's trying to discuss with Kuromori about after school stuff that he hasn't been doing and stuff that he needs to basically keep up with. And what ends up happening is that Kuromori ends up seeing something beyond and starts chasing this girl. Now, through that, Azakase enters the realm where Kuromori basically destroys strings attachments to certain persons that essentially they're expressing negative energy, and through that negative energy they're manifesting different objects and beings. And the first one that we see is like pre-exorcism, and they're able to save her. The grandma does show up. She looks very, very young, and Azakase basically faints and wakes up at Kuromori's place, and they kind of explain to him that essentially what they do is they are trying to defend the realm by destroying these shadows that are basically in a way taking over people's bodies and essentially just creating destruction around the world. we get a little background history on Azakase. Essentially, he is the way he is because he wants to be like his grandfather, who was a cop, and he himself went and into the field mainly because he wanted to prove to the world that he is he's there to protect people that are trying to do the right thing and not really protecting justice. So he kind of has a 180 character development in this chapter, because in the beginning he's all about rules, and then at the end he kind of goes into what his grandfather was saying, and that is he is wanting to protect those that are trying to do good. Now we do see that his grandfather died protecting a child from being hit by a car, and tragic ending, but this is basically his memoir to him. Now after that, it feels like there's a whole new story, and but it isn't. There's a girl called Fuyuno who eventually gets possessed, and there is basically a monster attached to her face attacking kids left and right. And essentially, she was bullied. I believe she was bullied by other girls, and that manifested this being that essentially wants revenge. So from there is a fight, and Kukurimori is the one that takes the lead. He does show up, and we see that he wields a sword. With that sword, essentially, he is, I'm trying to get to the actual page where we see his sword. Here we go. With that sword, we learn that Kurimori essentially has the power to cut down any of these beings without harming any of the humans. So even if it looks like he's cutting down the human, he's actually only attacking and hurting these shadows. The chapter ends kind of in a like weird, like, yeah, we're gonna be buddies now type of way. They're back in school, they're discussing what had happened the previous day, and Kuromori's trying to make a flyer to make people come and take some what's it called, go and take some time of I guess counseling to remove all these shadows from them. And Azakasa's like, you're crazy, no one's gonna say yes to that flyer, that just sounds creepy and weird. And yeah, that in a nutshell is the first chapter. It's an interesting series. I hope it's not too repetitive and it's just not, it's case by case where it's basically the same thing and we end up going in circles, which I've read series like these that do end up being like that. So personally, that's what I'm hoping that it doesn't do. So I'm going to give it a try, 3 chapters, and see what happens from there. I do have another series that I added not so long ago, so if you have not seen that video, I released it on Wednesday evening, so you guys can go read it. I'm trying to get the right name here because I always mess up this name. It is Dead Rock. I was gonna say Black Rock. It's not Black Rock. Dead Rock, which is a pretty cool series. So go check it out. There's another video that this week that released on chapter 1 of that one. So new series for sure here on my channel. Go check them out. Give some love to the channel by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can find me on social media on the description below. And then lastly, if you're watching up to this point, then you should have already subscribed, but not. If not, please do. So do that, please. Thank you again, and like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.